Her family says Jasmine Barnes' life was summed up by her t-shirt, "Live, Love, Laugh."
It was not fair. He intentionally killed my child for no reason.
Her pain continues as her daughter's killer is still on the loose.
Everybody is raising money and a reward has been put out.
It's been almost a week since 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes was shot and killed in Houston, Texas, and her killer is still to be found. Despite a $100,000 reward offered by Sean King and attorney Lee Merritt, the perpetrator of this atrocity remains at large. Which does beg the question, why is there not more coverage of this horrific tragedy? Now that's not to say there hasn't been any coverage. Outlets such as CNN and NBC have dedicated substantial airtime to help identify the suspect and shed light on the death of this sweet young girl. But of course, outlets like Fox News, well, they gave Jasmine's murder a solid 30-second blip. But if you are waiting for the president to lend his substantial reach to help identify the suspect, well, I wouldn't hold my breath unless there are murmurs of the suspect being a Muslim or an immigrant or Elizabeth Warren. Donnie can find time to tweet slurs at Elizabeth Warren, lies about the military pay raise, and compliments to himself, but can't spare a moment to lend his presidential power to help identify Jasmine's killer? Or there's more important things to tweet about, huh? Like making memes about Warren. But despite the president's lack of concern, countless other celebrities and public figures are using their platform to help in whatever way they can. Shaquille O'Neal partnered with senior Houston police officer Kenneth Mile to cover Jasmine's funeral costs. DeAndre Hopkins has said he will dedicate this week's playoff check to Jasmine's family while also playing in her honor.
Of course, I have a 5-year-old daughter, man, so, you know, it could have been anybody in that position on this team.
Many more have turned to social media to help identify the monster responsible for this heinous crime. This face should be on the front page of every outlet, on every news screen, and yes, on the president's Twitter page until the perpetrator is found. A 7-year-old girl was gunned down in cold blood, and the person responsible remains unfound. This should be a primary focus for any and every outlet, not only to bring Jasmine's killer to justice, but from a public safety standpoint, a gun-wielding maniac remains at large, and with every hour that passes, the risk of more victims increases. But again, we find that the community impacted, the black community, are the ones leading the charge to bring this perpetrator to justice. As he did after the violent attack on DeAndre Harris in Charlottesville, Sean King has joined forces with attorney Lee Merritt to raise a $100,000 reward for anyone with information that could lead to the identity of this murderer. So I will end with this. If anyone in the Houston area or the state of Texas recognizes this man or can share information about this red pickup truck, please do not remain silent. Share this information with law enforcement or get in touch with Sean here. We cannot allow this tragedy to go unanswered. This beautiful, bright, ambitious young girl who had aspirations of being a teacher was taken from this earth by the hands of evil. So let us remember her, say her name, and help get justice for Jasmine's family. For more on this, you can come over to my Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell and share any information that you may not feel comfortable with sharing to law enforcement or to Sean. You can share with me, and you can also become a member TYT.